What if the financial struggle you're experiencing right now was not a mistake? What if it was not bad luck, poor decisions, or a lack of effort? What if the poverty trap you feel every month and the one that keeps you working harder and getting nowhere was engineered, designed, deliberately, by people who profit from your confusion? This is not a conspiracy theory, this is economics. This is history, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Today, we are going to expose the poverty trap, who built it, how it works, why it keeps regenerating, and most importantly, how you escape it. Because you cannot fight a system you do not understand, and you cannot escape a trap you cannot see. Drop this in the comments if you are ready to see the truth. Show me the trap. The poverty trap is not simply being poor. Poverty has existed throughout human history. The poverty trap is something more specific. It is a condition where the harder you work to escape poverty, the more the system recaptures your progress. You get a raise, your rent goes up, you save a little. An emergency wipes it out. You get ahead, a new expense pulls you back. It is not random, it is structural. The system is designed to keep the bottom feeding the top. Think about it this way. Imagine a treadmill that speeds up every time you run faster. You exert more energy. You feel like you are working harder, but you never actually move forward. That is the poverty trap, and millions of people are running on it right now. The trap has four main mechanisms, and each one was built, not discovered. Built. The first mechanism is debt. Debt is the most powerful wealth transfer tool in human history, and it was designed to flow in one direction, from the poor to the wealthy. Here is how it works. You need something you cannot afford: a car, an education, a home, a phone, even food. Instead of saving for it, you are offered credit. Borrow now, pay later, with interest. That interest is not neutral. It is the mechanism by which your future income is captured before you even earn it. A person earning the minimum wage who carries credit card debt at 20% interest is working partly for themselves and partly for the bank. Every month, for years, the bank did not work for that money. The bank simply owned the mechanism that captured it. This is not accidental. The credit system was designed to create perpetual customers, people who always owe, always pay, and never fully escape. The trap is this: debt feels like a solution when you are struggling. It is actually the cage that makes struggling permanent. Drop this in the comments. Debt is the cage. The second mechanism is consumption culture. You were not born wanting the things you want. You were taught to want them. Every advertisement you have ever seen has one purpose: to create a feeling of inadequacy that only their product can solve. You are shown the life you could have: the car, the clothes, the experiences, the status, and then you are sold the path to get there. Spend. The average person is exposed to thousands of advertisements per day. Every one of them is engineered by billion-dollar companies with teams of psychologists whose only job is to make you feel like you are not enough until you buy something. This system requires you to be a consumer first, not a saver, not an investor, not a builder, a consumer. Because a population that saves and invests does not generate the same profits as a population that borrows and spends. Consumption culture is not organic. It was built after World War II specifically to stimulate economies by turning citizens into consumers. That model never stopped. The trap is identity. You are made to feel that what you own defines who you are, and so you spend to maintain an identity instead of building actual wealth. The most radical financial act you can perform today is to detach your identity from your consumption. The third mechanism is the education system. You spent over a decade in school. You learned mathematics, history, language, science, but you were almost certainly never taught how money works. Not how interest compounds, not how assets generate passive income, not how inflation silently erodes savings, not how the wealthy structure their finances differently from everyone else. This is not an oversight, it is a design choice. An educated financial population would save more, borrow less, invest earlier, and depend less on systems that profit from their financial ignorance. Instead, schools produce graduates who are educated for employment, not for wealth, trained to be workers, not owners. The gap between what you were taught and what the wealthy know is not a knowledge gap. It is a designed gap. Financial literacy is the most important subject that was deliberately excluded from your education. And so generation after generation graduates from the education system and walks directly into the debt machine, into consumption culture, and into the poverty trap. without the tools to recognize what is happening. Drop this in the comments. I was never taught this. The fourth mechanism is the wage system itself. Employment is the financial arrangement where you trade your time for money at a rate set by someone else, in exchange for someone else keeping the surplus value your labor creates. This is not a moral argument, it is a structural one. A worker who creates $10,000 of value for a company and receives $2,000 in wages has transferred $8,000 to the owner of the system. This is not theft, it is the agreement. But the agreement was never truly explained to you when you entered it. The wage trap keeps you dependent on the next paycheck. It gives you just enough to survive, to spend, and to return tomorrow. And it is designed to scale just enough to feel like progress. A 2% raise feels like a reward. But if inflation is 3%, you just took a pay cut dressed up as a promotion. The only escape from the wage trap is ownership. Assets that generate income independent of your time. Because as long as your income requires your presence, you are still trapped. Warren Buffett said it plainly. If you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So who designed the poverty trap? The honest answer is not a single villain, not one shadowy organization, not a secret meeting of billionaires. The poverty trap is the cumulative result of systems built over centuries by governments, banks, corporations, and institutions, each acting in their own interest, and collectively creating a structure that benefits those at the top at the expense of those at the bottom. The debt system was built by banks to generate perpetual income from interest. Consumption culture was built by corporations to generate perpetual revenue from spending. The education deficit was maintained by institutions that benefit from a workforce that is skilled but not financially sovereign. The wage system was built by owners who needed labor and set the terms of the exchange. None of these systems require malice to maintain. They only require people to continue participating without questioning them. And that is the most dangerous thing about the poverty trap. It does not need to force you in. It only needs you to never look up and notice where you are. Drop this in the comments. I am looking up now. Now we get to the part they never wanted you to hear. You can escape the poverty trap? Not easily, not overnight, but deliberately and permanently. The escape has 4 steps, one for each mechanism. Step 1. Dismantle your debt. Every debt you carry is a chain that connects your future income to someone else's account. Attack your highest interest debt first. Pay more than the minimum. Give no more of your future to the debt machine. Step 2. Reject consumption identity. You are not what you own. You are not your car, your clothes, your phone, your lifestyle. Separate who you are from what you buy. This one shift will free more money than any raise ever will. Step 3. Educate yourself financially. The school did not teach you. That means you must teach yourself. Read, watch, listen. Learn how money compounds. Learn how assets work. Learn what the wealthy know that you were not taught. The information exists. The question is whether you pursue it. Step 4. Build ownership. Start small, an investment account, a small business, a skill that generates independent income, intellectual property, anything that produces income without requiring all of your time. Every asset you own is a partial escape from the wage trap. These 4 steps will not make you rich overnight, but they will take you out of the trap, one decision at a time. The poverty trap is real. It was built, and it works on most people, not because most people never see it, but you have seen it now. And the moment you see the trap, it loses its power over you. You stop blaming yourself for struggling in a system designed to make struggling feel personal. You stop chasing consumption and start building ownership. You stop feeding the debt machine and start deploying every dollar with intention. You stop accepting financial ignorance as normal and start educating yourself as an act of self-defense. The trap was not designed with your name on it. It was designed for anyone who never looked up. You looked up. Now build your way out. If this video revealed something you had never been told, subscribe. Because every video on this channel is a tool for people who are done accepting the trap as normal. And before you go, answer this in the comments. Which mechanism had the biggest impact on your life? The debt machine, the consumption culture, the education deficit, or the wage trap? I read every comment, and I will see you in the next video.